All right, Taman, let's put some time on the clock. Let's do our inaugural Big 12 men's basketball here for 2026. Whip around. Taman will give us the game. We'll tell you a quick recap and summary of what happened over the weekend.
All right, let's start off. Kansas State at Arizona State. Go.
Kansas State at Arizona State. Arizona State won a wild one, 87-84. They snapped a 4-game losing streak after they started 9-2 and had quality wins in the non-conference. They had beaten Texas, Washington State, and Oklahoma before their 4-game slide. K-State led at the half. Jerome Tang was 50-9 all-time at K-State when leading at the half, even though this was a close lead. K-State led 48-41. Looked like they were about to run away with things. Arizona State then ripped off a 10-0 run in the final 10 minutes, an extended run of 18-3. Haggerty bricks a three that was blocked from half court that would have tied it, and K-State loses to fall to 0-3 in Big 12 play.
Masamba Diop, 21 points, 17 in the second half. I mean, you just mentioned it, and you were on the call. James was on the call for this game, did a great job with it, even caught you in a 1,000% comment, which I love.
I thought of you when those words came out of my mouth.
But Haggerty hit a three to make it a 1-point game, but then after that, they didn't have much time after that. Haggerty kind of had like a half-court heave. But, yeah, this was all about Diop in the second half really coming to life.
Thanks for watching.
You're welcome.
Game number 2.
Now you're doing good games. I'm watching your games.
That's awesome, dude. I thought you'd just not watch to spite me.
Of course not. Love listening to you.
Game number 2 took place last night. Cincinnati at UCF.
Yeah, this one was kind of buried because it was played on that standalone Sunday, and UCF got the win, 73-72. Man, that has been the story of Wes Miller's tenure. Close losses for Cincinnati. With 11 seconds to go, Themis Folks, the UCF point guard, hit the go-ahead jumper. That ultimately decided it. A buzzer-beating three rimmed out for Cincinnati's Jalen Celestine. And UCF shot almost 58% from the floor, by far their best mark in Big 12 play so far.
And how about Folks? Had 12 assists in this one. Wasn't huge in terms of scoring, but hit the dagger that gave UCF the lead. And you mentioned it, Cincinnati rimmed out a three at the buzzer. And Mustafa Tiem for Cincinnati, who played at UCF last year, had a career high 24 points in this game, but just was not enough. And it's setting up for a really bad season again for Cincinnati as they're 8-8 now and 0-3 in conference play.
Game number 3. This should be interesting. Kansas at West Virginia.
Yeah, Kansas falls to West Virginia. Huge win for Ross Hodge and the Mountaineers. 86-75, the final. The Darren Peterson saga continues. I'm going to let you have the floor on this one.
So they played this game. That's right. Look, if you look at the box score, you're looking at Darren Peterson having another phenomenal performance. Once again, only attempted one shot in the second half. Played interestingly sparing minutes in the second half. It was just, hey, you got this NBA player who is incredible playing 31 minutes. You look at it and be like, oh, he played 31 minutes. But when things started to go south in the second half, and they did, Peterson was on the bench for most of it. I don't know what, I don't know what the cramps or what the hammy or what this was all about. But KU went more than 7 minutes without scoring, and West Virginia had a 16-0 run in that stretch, and that pretty much seized it. It was West Virginia outscoring Kansas 47-32 in the second half. So that'll do it.
And points in the paint. Kansas had 30 points in the paint in the first half. In the second half, just 6 after the break.
Yeah, Darren Peterson, man. When he plays, he's a huge difference maker. When he doesn't, it's a total huge void on this team. By the way, West Virginia shot 48% overall from the floor in this game. Kansas, going into Big 12 play, was elite defensively. So far in 3 games, they're 14th out of 16 teams in Big 12 defense so far.
BYU at Utah, the Holy War.
Also, Hunter Huff had a huge second half for West Virginia with 17. BYU survives on the road in the Holy War. BYU 89, Utah 84. Cougars led by 2 at the half. This was a rivalry thriller. The Cougars extended their winning streak to 12 straight. They are 3-0. This was the first road win for BYU at the Huntsman Center since 2021. Both teams kind of struggled from three, but Richie Saunders had a career-high 14 rebounds, 24 points, 14 rebounds. Rob Wright, 23 and 6, and DeBonsa with 20. And then Keba Keita, kind of that fourth guy to complement the big three. That was enough for BYU.
Yeah, BYU with 16 offensive rebounds, and that was a huge piece to this game. They also had they were plus 12 in points in the paint and plus 8 in fast break points. So they sort of won in the margins, and that was the difference in this very close game. A surprising close game here for Utah. Obviously, given the rivalry, though, it's not too surprising. But, yeah, nice effort here by Utah. BYU, though, just does enough to put them away.
Texas Tech at Colorado.
Yeah, this game was interesting because Texas Tech had a huge lead all throughout the contest. Texas Tech wins it 73-71. They were up 43-27, so 16 at halftime. And then in the second half, they led by as many as 24. And then, dare we say it, the altitude kicked in because Colorado started to chip away at the deficit. Texas Tech able to hang on. Colorado had a freshman, Isaiah Johnson, who exploded in the second half. He was scoreless at the break, finished with 21. And for Texas Tech, Donovan Atwell hit 5 threes, and JT Toppin with another double-double.
Yeah, Tech dominated the middle of the game. It was 43-27 at halftime and then ballooned to 24 in the second half before Colorado stormed back. Texas Tech survived foul trouble, had 4 starters, finishing with at least 4 fouls, and that stalled their offense in the second half.
All right, next one, Oklahoma State at Iowa State.
Iowa State gets the 83-71 win to improve to a program best 16-0. They are now 3-0 in Big 12 play, best start in school history. They had control right before halftime and then never looked back. Dominic Nelson had a 3-point play late in the first half. That gave Iowa State the lead that they would keep the rest of the way, and then they opened the second half early with a 9-0 run. Joshua Jefferson had a jumper and then a dunk. And Oklahoma State got the lead down to 6 a couple of times in the final 6 or 7 minutes, but Iowa State was just too much.
Yeah, I think this is where the strength of the Big 12 flexes its muscles. They won in the interior. They outscored Iowa State outscored Oklahoma State in the paint 40 to 24, and second chance points 12-4. So similarly, I think to Texas Tech and Colorado, it was the difference in the paint and in the second chance points.
Houston at Baylor.
All right, speaking of flexing your muscles, Houston dominated down in Waco with suffocating defense. They held Baylor to just 36% shooting from the field. Houston had 31 points off of Baylor's 16 turnovers, and Houston extended its school record road winning streak to 16 games. Houston has won 16 straight true road games. They had a 19-5 run early in the second half and just really imposed their will on the Bears on the road.
Yeah, Houston did not have a great shooting performance here and still won by 22, amazingly. But it was the holy trinity, as Kelvin Sampson said after the game. He said, defense, rebounding, taking care of the ball. That's your holy trinity. That puts us in position to win every game, and that was certainly the case here in this game. Houston has now won 22 of their last 23 games. That's a dominant force in the Big 12. You want to know the team that people are afraid of in the Big 12? Houston Cougars. That's the team that imposes fear in the opposition, not Kansas.
Oof. All right, last one, guys. I think this team imposes fear also. Arizona at TCU.
Yeah, this was a game that I thought was maybe a trap game for Arizona, and Matt Muehlbach, who I did the game with Saturday, played at Arizona, really connected to the program. He thought the same thing. He said, man, I thought that would be a tough game, and Arizona just clobbered them. 86-73 on the road in Fort Worth. Koa Pete led all scorers with 20 points. Arizona led 43-27 at halftime. And again, another above 50% shooting effort for Arizona. They lead the nation in halves in which they shoot better than 50% as a team. They led by as many as 21 in the first half. TCU went on a 7-0 run to try and get back in it, but Arizona answered, again, just flexing their muscles at the top.
Yeah, and normally it's the points, the paint, it's the rebounding that is the differentiator. But in this game, Arizona shoots 7 of 16 from three, so 44%. Not exactly, their bread and butter, but they made more threes than TCU did on 5 less attempts. So that was huge. And Arizona just continues to flex its muscles. And this, to me, is the biggest piece to this so far, the start for the Big 12. The top 4 teams of the Big 12 right now, James. The top 4 teams in the Big 12 right now are a combined 62-2. Arizona, Iowa State, Houston, and BYU are 62-2, with those 2 losses being a 2-point loss to UConn and a 3-point loss to number 21 Tennessee.
That is remarkable.
So this
Multiple
is strength
teams,
at the top.
Very much so. Like you talk about, those 4 teams are in a class of their own. They are in a league of their own, and any of the 4 could not just make the Final Four, but they could win the whole thing. That's how loaded this league is. More on that coming up after the break. We're talking about Arizona, Iowa State, BYU, and Houston, those 4 teams, and then why the fear is gone when it comes down to the rest of the league bowing down to Kansas as the Darren Peterson saga continues. We'll hear from Bill Self. He's Ari Timken. I'm James Westling. This is Big 12 Radio on Big 12 Studios, brought to you by Modelo.